Okie dokie. Here is card number one. Okay, I've got to say that my sister bought a dog. And I bought this stamp set purely because she bought a dog and I needed a welcome puppy card. So it's a cute kind of coloring set in the Stampin' Up! Annual catalog this year. And I think it's kind of like one of those things that is like pretty like light and airy and fun. So for example, older is mandatory, growing up is optional. Happy birthday. It's good for cat lovers. A friend like you comes along once in 9 lives. For I guess like animal lovers. Um, I've been blown away by you. And even for someone who likes guinea pigs, it's gonna be a great day. So on that note, I think it is gonna be a great day. And I'm gonna kind of show you how I took the black and white paper. Now this black and white paper is actually in the main catalog, and you're going to ask me what it's called, and I just I think it's like painted something. I'll put it in the description. But what I basically did, I'm not sure if you can tell in the details here, but I basically took this is Parakeet Party for the cardstock. I basically took my Parakeet Party pen and kind of like outlined some of the stripes there. And another instance, because I'm making a few of these, I had the in color blue. And I basically took my blending brush and went all over that, adding blue to the white. So again, adding a bit of a jazz of color there. So I think this is like a really, like, I just wanted to show that you can, like, just because the paper is black and white doesn't mean that it is boring. And I think it's a good way to kind of show that we can always use, our black and white paper and add color and not be afraid to do so. So last time I used my blending pen, you could just use so you can use alcohol markers, you could just use the regular markers from the catalog as well. I was going to do green, then I realized that the other one is green. Now I've showed you the blue as well. So let's go to the starry sky. Let's do a purple one. So I have my starry sky, I have my starry sky ink. And I have my little piece of designer series paper. This one is cut to 5¼ inches by, this one is just under, it says 1¾ of an inch. So I'm going to, before I put it on, now you can really decide, like this one, look on this one side, it's more white, less black. This one's more black, less white. The nice thing is that the ink shouldn't go through, so we can actually see what it looks like on both sides and decide afterwards. And you know what? It's one of those things where you don't have to do this, right? Like you don't have to color your paper, but it's just one of those things where I think it just adds, let's be honest, it adds something. Oh, I like that. Okay. And it doesn't need to be solid, right? Like when I'm kind of doing this, I'm not sure if you can kind of see on screen, but it kind of, if you kind of start on one end using more ink and then the other end less, it gives you a very much like an ombre look. So you can see here, definitely more purple on the one end than the other. This one ended up actually being a little bit more solid in the end, but it's still lighter than the paper, which actually kind of looks cool. It's going to add a little bit more. We go over one more time, but I'm not going to add more ink this time, kind of giving it, let's do more of the ombre. And like I said, you don't have to have the blending brushes. Use a pen, just leave it black and white. This is like a up to you creativity. So then I need to have basically 2 white pieces of cardstock. These are both 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to put the one on the front. Now I want the darker at the top, lighter at the bottom, I think. Yep, that looks good. All right, let me see. Maybe that looks better. Okay, we're going to do darker at the bottom. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back there. Yeah, I really like that ombre effect with the blender pen. But like I said, you can just do stripes, just color it. If you're following along with From Home with Me, some of the kits have flowers and you can color in the flowers, any of those things. Okay, then I use my deckled rectangle and stamped on my little puppy and his fan. This is such a great coloring card, right? Like it gives you so many different options. We did this one at my in-person card class this month, and I basically brought up all my stamp sets that could be colored, from birds to flowers, and everyone just kind of chose what they liked. Okay, so then I'm gonna bring over my blends. I gotta give my little puppy a little bit of color here. Yeah, so for my sister's dog, he's gray. So I had a little picture of him and was trying to he had kind of a brown patch on his chest and gray everywhere else. I couldn't kind of get the effect of like because he was quite long haired at that point. She since then has given him a haircut. Would have been much easier to color him once he'd had a haircut. I should have waited a few weeks before giving my little welcome puppy gift. So this one is the medium deep, the light brown. I think it's different than the puppy. So it's the color that I used previously, which doesn't really matter, right? Like I'm not, in this particular instance, I'm not coloring for a specific puppy. Like, oh, look, I left his paw white last time. Oh, well, no, this time he has his puppy. This time it is brown. And then I have here the light. I think this is what I used for his ears last time. Tinge in there. Then I have my sweet sorbet. I'm going to give him a little bit of a brighter pink little cute tongue. Then I have my light Tahitian Tide. Kind of use that to color in these little streamers. I think in the other card I used a pool party, but I don't know. It feels like a be bold or go home kind of day. Okay, so I've colored in that. Now the fan itself. Sure, put a little in purple. Sure, let's coordinate the stand with the back of the cardstock today. So I'm just going to use my Starry Sky. What I really love about these coloring cards sometimes is you can do whatever you want. Color things. I've been watching my littlest one in kindergarten. He's so cute. He initially started kindergarten, he was coloring everything very traditional, like watching his older brothers, right? And then this week, he's decided that the sky's the limit. And he's been coloring. I don't know what they're doing in kindergarten, but he's decided that horses are green, and he's just like making everything every color that he wants it to be. which is kind of fun, right? Making it, using your imagination to do art and create. Okay, so again, totally up to your your creativeness. This is a very traditional fan, all gray. I just took one of my blends and kind of went over the kind of the wire mesh of the fan. This one I did more of in purple. It's a little outside my box. I usually am very traditional. I would have usually, done that in gray, but I don't know. It seems like one of those mornings. Okay. So, and then now I usually would advise everyone always to do their stamping of the I'm blown away from you before you put that piece of white cardstock on. But apparently I missed that thought in my head this morning. Oh, turned out okay. So we're good. Okay, so I have the I'm blown away by you at the bottom. I think this is like a cute card in the sense that it could totally be for like a welcome pet kind of gift. But then in the same way, you could just put, a hat, I'm blown away by you on the outside, and then stamp happy birthday on the inside. Or I'm putting dimensionals. You can't see on my screen here. I'm putting dimensionals on the back of my little puppy. You could put, where's I going with this? A thank you, a thank you stamp. I'm blown away with you, thank you on the inside. Or happy birthday, thinking of you, all those kinds of things. Last but not least, using some of these matte in color gems to kind of jazz it up. I'm going to use kind of on a purple theme. I think these ones are actually not the starry sky ones. These are because I've created so much purple here, I need to lighten it up a slight tad. But it kind of goes with my ombre theme. And ombre is still very in right now. Okay, so that's like the cute little puppy card, but I have one more surprise. So on the inside, I'm going to still put in my extra piece of white cardstock. I can write a message. Okay. But I've also discovered these super cute pocket card die set that's in the main catalog. So the die set looks like this. It comes with a whole bunch of little things that you can use to decorate like a little pocket. But how perfect is this? It's going to fit like if you're giving a gift with some money in it, or some gift card. Do you know what I mean? Then it fits like a standard size gift card, which is amazing, right? Because there's no like fussy cutting of designer series paper and stuff like that. Or just cardstock and then trying to like score it and all of these things. So this has already came like it cuts and scores all in one fell swoop. Now, because I've like colored that outside one, I kind of feel that I'm compelled to color inside. Oh, and the other thing I should point out is it can go either way. So if you really like one side of the paper better, but you're like, oh, it was cut out like this, you can still fold it this way. And it tucks like then the pocket all just like tucks the opposite direction. So you can fold the pocket. It doesn't matter like when you're cutting it, I guess from like a directional standpoint, it doesn't matter which way you cut the paper. It'll work to make your card. You can fold it whichever way you want to make that little pocket to showcase whichever paper you wish. Okay, so I should have made that a little bit more ombre. Just talking too much and crafting too much and not paying attention as much as I should. So then I have some double-sided adhesive tape here. I'm just going to fold that little pocket edge over, put on some adhesive, do the same thing over here. the other thing I've been doing, I've been making a few of these little pockets. And sometimes you make a card and you're like, well, am I going to be giving a gift card with this gift or not? But the nice thing is like you can always see it was right there. Perfect. And you could always put like an extra like little for you or something in there. But what I've been suggesting is like, so take that pocket, put it inside the card, and then stick it into your storage. And then when you pull it out, if you're like, yes, that person, I definitely am going to put in a gift card. Or I've had a few people that are grandparents have said to me, like, oh, they're going to take and fold up cash for Christmas and stick it in the envelope. And isn't that perfect? And if you wanted to, before you folded this up, you could always cut another like little bit of a half circle if it's going to be an item that you need to like reach in a little bit further. But I think it's just, kind of a cute way to add that little pocket that's super easy. Like I said, you can make them ahead of time, coordinating cardstock, or you could make them out of like the designer series papers we've shown. You can color it or not color it. This is what I'm actually doing for all of the Christmas cards that I'm making this year. I always do a class where we design sorry, totally lost my train of thought. Where we design gift card holders for Christmas, because I don't know about you, but it's so nice to like put in like a little gift card for coffee in there for a colleague. Or like I said, if you're doing gifts for older nieces or nephews, or even friends. See, I'm like bringing up all the people that I give gift cards and money and things to. So that's that. Very cute, very fun, and awesome surprise on the inside when you open up and have that gift card pocket holder. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope it's as bright and cheerful as these cards.